Like, people will say, like, you should hug your children more. It's like, I do hug my children, but I'm not like, wait, hold on. Hold on.
Okay.
Hey everybody, welcome to another day with the Knorps. Today we're doing one of those sit down and talk videos because Megan needs to fix my eyebrows. Because we didn't have something else prepared, we thought, well, people have been asking a lot of questions in the comments lately about some different parts of our life and especially the renovation. So we thought, well, why don't we just gather the questions and then we'll have a talk. And so we posted on the community page and we had way more responses than I actually expected.
I guess there's a lot of questions hanging out in the ether.
I guess so. I actually expected about 10 questions to come back. We got over 100. So, that's great. We're glad. There were some kind of categories of questions.
Mike went through and systematized all of your questions.
To try to be more efficient, we can't go into as much detail on some of them as we might because we run out of time, or this video would just be way too long and people might be bored. So we might go back and dive a little bit deeper into some of those topics. Like, we have a lot of questions about homeschooling, and also I think more in-depth questions about the renovation as far as lessons learned in general. But we kind of wanted to cover a wide range of things here. So we'll just go over
we'll come
all
back
that.
to those maybe in their own videos.
Right, we might do that. So let's get your questions.
Where's your pad of paper?
I have my pad of paper here.
Okay.
Organized. Two items that came up a lot in the questions were animals and children. They're very similar as far as being the same thing. But we'll talk about all the animals and their situation, and then I think we'll go through all the kids and what they're up to these days, right?
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so let's do animals first. That's an easier one.
So is this our number one question?
I would say animals or kids are kind of neck and neck as far as what people are curious about.
Okay, so
because we've had quite a few animal things we've touched on in the past, but we didn't really complete the story on.
Well, probably the one I saw the most coming through,
animal-wise,
yes, was what is going on with the rabbits? Do you still have them? What's the story there? So we got meat rabbits in 2022.
I really don't remember. It was a while ago.
I have for years been trying to gain more skills to become more self-sufficient, independent, as well as tools, as well as, processes. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that I knew that we didn't have was a source of protein, like besides eggs.
Eggs, yeah.
And so I wanted to do some sort of meat production, but with only a half acre, just a backyard neighborhood, I knew that we were very limited on that. And so for years I'd been intrigued by the idea of rabbits.
Right.
And I knew that it's the highest protein meat. It's really lean. It's really good for you. I like that it was like historic in a way. And I think rabbits are beautiful. So I thought it was a perfect match. Though that sounds already that you could tell. Those were thoughts. So we got our rabbits. We got them from a really good breeder, and they were beautiful. But very quickly, we got them when they were young.
And they're New Zealand Reds, right?
New Zealand Reds, yeah. And they were young, so we had a few months just to get acclimated to them and figure out how to take care of those too. But once they were a breeding age, we realized that idea that like bred like rabbits, is that how we usually say?
They're breeding like rabbits, or they're multiplying like rabbits.
Yes, those things are it's true that rabbits can have babies very often. From insemination to birth is only 30 days, which is really fast turnaround. That created a lot of challenges. First of all, our doe was super uninterested in breeding.
Doe is a female rabbit, by the way, in case you're...
She was not a fan of the buck that we had purchased. He was a super fan of hers.
Yeah.
And would try
This is actually kind of a life lesson here.
It gave us lots of chuckles at first. We're like, ho, ho, ho.
He was really wanting to,
and
make that happen.
He would do anything he could. He would go up to her face like, hey, and like kind of like nuzzle her and then like try to do it again and do it backwards. And she would just like sit there like she was dead. She wouldn't lift for him.
Again,
Or then
understand
eventually
this.
she would get really mad and like, all right, I've had enough, and chase him around, and we'd be like, oh, because like,
Well, because they can do some real damage.
yeah. So we got finally when we did get her to breed. Now this is typical. A lot of times, first-time moms among the rabbit community they have no idea what just came out of them, and their instinct doesn't kick in, and they don't take care of their babies.
Yeah.
And so she had 2 litters. Where they all died. It was devastating.
We didn't document any of this because I think we were just sensitive about learning the process.
Yeah.
Also, we had a bit of a negative response when we announced that we had meat rabbits, and I think we just didn't want to deal with that. So,
Yeah, well,
anyways.
I think in the United States, in particular, rabbits are only for pets, and they're beloved pets for a lot of people. And in other countries, it's more normal to use rabbits for meat, but. Yeah, anything that we're learning new, it's really hard to make videos because you're very sensitive. Because you don't completely know what you're doing. You're just trying to figure it out.
And in this case, you're dealing with little cute baby rabbits.
And so she had her babies, and she had good, strong litters, but she wouldn't take care of them. And so we had, over like 3 or 4 days' time, we were doing everything we could to like feed them and keep them warm. And because she wouldn't even pull fur to make them a warm nest. So
And you cannot... It's well, at least our skill level, we didn't know how to keep them alive without mom being involved.
Because her milk was so rich, like typically they only feed them once a day, but if you're trying to replace it, which we were like bottle feeding. Anyways, it was really sad. And the breeder, we were in communication with him, and we were reading a ton, and we were on different forums. But this is normal, I guess.
Yeah.
Her 3rd litter, she actually took care of. And they were the cutest things on the planet. Adorable. And so we went through the whole process with them. It's never fun to
Process?
take an animal to food, no matter the animal. That's just not fun. I mean, if it is fun for you, that's kind of weird. But
Well, if you're a hunter and there's sport involved, there's that part.
yeah, but
anyways.
the actual part where you're like processing the meat is not super fun.
Yeah.
But we were okay at it. We knew we'd get more comfortable. But this is what I discovered. You can produce a ton of meat with rabbits. Like I said, because you can, breed them several times a year, and they make all of these babies. But then you've got tons of babies. And then you have to do that processing like several times a year.
Yeah.
And so you're constantly helping like mom get bred, and then you're helping her deliver, and then you're helping those babies be healthy and have good space, and then you're also taking care of a bunch of adolescent babies, and you're also processing those babies. Any other meat animal you would have is not going to be like that. So let's say you got chickens, at the store in April, 10, 12 weeks later, you're processing all those chickens and putting them in the freezer once a year. And if you have a cow, it's probably once or a year or every 2 years.
Yeah.
And so it was like, all of a sudden I realized, like, I know this is a lot of time. And they were beautiful. They were beautiful. We handled that okay. We loved our bunnies. They were adorable. And we figured out how to make everybody comfortable. But ultimately it was like, this is like a lifestyle, raising rabbits.
Yeah.
And so we
weren't prepared to actually be involved in yet.
Yeah.
So.
And our neighbor knew that we were interested in being done. And she knew somebody that already was raising rabbits and wanted to expand their breeding program. And so they came, and for free, we just gave them all our stuff. Said, here you go. Good.
Everything except for the hutches. We still have the hutches back there.
Like, Godspeed.
Yeah.
Enjoy yourself.
And I think they knew what they were doing, or at least they seemed like they did.
Yeah. So they've already been raising rabbits, and so this was just expanding their program, and we're good.
So, no more rabbits. They're not there anymore.
But the next is the bees. We never made a video about the bees.
Have we not made a video?
We never made a video.
We didn't make no videos.
Bee video. We got bees in May. 2
of 2023.
Yeah, 2. I don't know what you call them.
Nucleus or
2 nukes is what they call them. So
These
Pearl and
aren't
I,
bombs,
yeah.
by the way. So don't get don't get worried.
There's NUC for nucleus. Pearl and I went and became official beekeepers.
Yeah, they took a class through the county or
through the
something.
county, Mecklenburg bees, Mech bees.
Yeah.
It was, I guess, helpful. It was a lot. And I'm like,
Sometimes I felt like it was giving you too much information.
yes,
It would
and it was
make you
like,
really nervous.
yeah. Sometimes you're like, I don't like. I even asked once. I'm like, but it's still worth having bees, right? Because they went through
All the trouble.
everything that could ever happen.
Or go wrong, yeah.
Yes, ever. Every disease they could get, every predator, everything. We got our bees in May, like I said. They were amazingly strong
Nuke.
colonies, yeah, and from a great beekeeper here in the area.
Yeah.
And they have been awesome. They have been awesome. We did not harvest any honey this year because they are still building. They made tons of honey.
Right.
But I didn't want to take it from them because this was their first year. And so I believe we will harvest honey next year as long as they make it through the winter. There's a lot of factors there. I hope they make it. I think they should. If not, I'll probably just get more bees. I have only been stung one time through my glove. And that's the only time I've been stung my entire life. And so it was barely. Some of the others have been stung. The bees were pretty chill, but then at the height of summer, there's like something like 70,000 bees in each bee box. And at that time of year, they were very territorial and hot. And so if I would mess with them, they would like look around like, anybody else here? Like, that kid 20 yards away.
Anyone close, they'd go for it.
So Pearl got stung. Pearl got stung in the house because she was trying to shoo a bee out. We didn't have too many bees, but every once in a while you get a bee in the house.
Yeah.
Jude got stung, right?
And I think that's it. I think it was
And
just...
no, Eve got stung.
Oh, did Eve get stung too?
Yeah, Eve got stung as well because she had a bee land on her face one time and she went like this and like it stung her. It probably could have just flown away, but
no one's allergic though. So
no, and they didn't bother the neighbors at all.
Yeah, that's true. They're right on this side of the house.
We were worried about that. They really stay in right around their box and then they fly away and they
if
don't
you don't
hang
get
out
in front
in the
of
area.
it, and if you're not around when Megan's messing with them, you're pretty good.
Yeah, but like they, like I was worried. They're probably 20 feet from the neighbor's house, 25 feet. That like they would bother the neighbor while they were mowing their lawn. They never did. They do their thing right around their hive, and they literally go up and out and away. And so we'll see. In probably they're very active right now because we've had a couple warm days, so they're still alive in there.
Yeah.
Well, this is kind of like this is iffy time. We're not sure.
Oh, whether they like pull through.
Yeah, one hive is a lot stronger than the other, so we'll see.
Bees are still doing their thing.
Yep.
Okay, chickens. Chickens are also just living their lives. We're getting eggs. It did slow down a little bit during the wintertime, but the chickens are good. And the kitties. What about the kitties? They're not here right now.
So
They're
both
good too.
kitties are alive. We have one lazier kitty that's around a lot more and likes to be pet a lot more.
Calcifer,
Yeah,
which
Calcifer.
was in the post that I posted for the questions on
He's
this.
our orange kitty. They're both Maine Coons. He's much bigger. He is around a lot more. He's just a homebody. And so when we film him and we don't film Albus, everybody's like, what happened to Albus or your other cat? Like he died.
So the cats are good, both healthy and happy.
Yeah.
So the next biggest question was what the kids are up to. Jude is the youngest, and Jude is 11 now?
Crazy.
Yeah, just turned 11. Just doing his thing. Likes to be outside, likes to be building things or kind of tinkering with things. He loves his bow and arrow, which he got for Christmas. And
Does a lot of the farm work outside.
yeah, yes, he does. He works with the chickens and stuff like that, and when the rabbits were here. So yeah, he stays pretty busy. He's pretty happy right now.
He reads. He likes to draw and paint. He likes to watch science videos. He's very, he wants to be one of the boys in the family. I think he likes having older brothers. And
He likes to
wants
hang out
keep
with
up
Asher when
them.
Asher's working on his go-kart over there.
Yes. He likes to watch Asher doing his engineering work. So
he's good.
we're trying to, excite him about the prospect of maybe being a commercial pilot.
That's what we really want.
Yeah.
Like, in for
who's that? We're like, wait, we could fly for free if one of our kids was a pilot. Like, Jude, don't you think flying would be very exciting?
So maybe he'll follow through with that. Who knows?
No. We want him to be
I
happy.
might have to do it.
But I would be very happy, which in turn wouldn't that make him happy?
That's true.
If he
you're
were a
happy,
pilot.
that makes sense. Okay, and then Eve. Eve also likes art.
14.
14.
Yes, going on 35 maybe?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm sure everyone pretty much knows, but Eve does have Down syndrome. But she's very active as far as doing art. She was just, when we started the video, sitting here painting
Doing
some watercolor stuff. She loves to sing. You might hear her in the background, actually. She's in her room listening to music and singing.
She likes to draw. She likes to read, though her reading is always going to be at a lower level than the rest of her siblings.
Yeah. She likes to write as well.
She loves to write.
Loves writing cards to
love
people.
Notes. And she loves Jane Austen, like, so much. And so the soundtracks to Jane Austen movies. Eve is hilarious. She's sassy. She's smart. I really think she's got a very high emotional IQ or whatever.
Yeah.
And everybody loves Eve everywhere she goes. So
Lucky her.
yeah.
Okay, and then there's Asher. Like we kind of mentioned, Asher is very much a mechanical person.
He's 14 as well.
He's 14. He and Eve are only 3 or 4 months apart. He is working on refurbishing a go-kart right now, which has been his big project for some time now. He does not really do blacksmithing anymore. He's sort of, that kind of ran its course. He isn't as interested in that anymore. He likes more moving parts, I think.
Yeah, that's true.
So he sells his anvil and whatnot. He may sell that eventually, but he's not really doing that. But he's pretty busy with his go-kart and things along that nature. He also did get a big bow and arrow for
That's true.
Christmas, which he likes.
He goes into the woods a lot and like finds like trees that have fallen down and chops them up, makes them into firewood, brings them back. He's very busy all the time.
He wants to be like he's living on the frontier.
Yes, he does.
If
like
he
Pa
had his way,
from Little House on the Prairie.
Yeah, he would love that. So that keeps him pretty busy.
Yeah,
And
he also loves engineering videos. He also loves, they all love reading. He loves reading. He, right now is reading like a book he's reading Coop.
Oh, yeah.
About a guy living out on the land. So that's his dream.
We're not sure
his
that'll
favorite is
take him.
James Harriet. Asher has re-listened to the James Harriet books like a million times over. He loves those books.
Which is All Creatures Great and Small and all that
it's
whole
about
series.
a Northern Yorkshire Dales veterinarian in the early 1900s. Incredibly charming books, but
Yeah.
Asher loves those. Those are his jam. And then there's Peter.
Yeah.
Peter is 15.
Yes. And Peter is actively working on, he has been taking guitar for some time. This is an example of someone who, the first part was hard, his fingers hurt and all that kind of stuff, but he pushed through and he really still enjoys it. In fact, he wants to pick up another instrument. He wants to do piano as well.
Yeah.
So he's pretty busy with that, but also very much going into the writing realm. He's followed Andrew's example and has been writing a lot every week, writing a lot of stories. He's watching this. It's a great course that Brandon Sanderson, the author, if you've probably heard of him, he put on YouTube. This whole course on writing and the business of writing, all of it. It's actually pretty amazing.
Well, you probably haven't heard of him. It's a bunch of ladies like me.
Oh, yeah.
He's a fantasy author that the boys love.
Brandon Sanderson.
He's huge and really nice. And he has these free courses on YouTube that he taught at BYU. And
it's pretty amazing.
So he's been writing short stories, and now he's working on his first chapter book. But he is loving it, and he's good. He's got a lot of great ideas and great potential. So highly encouraging that. But all of them, Peter, Asher, Jude, not Eve necessarily. They watch a lot of different videos on YouTube. Peter, Asher, and Pearl are right now in a Shakespeare course with the local homeschoolers taught by a retired teacher. So they're doing a lot of things. We won't mention everything they're doing for some of you who are feeling like they're not getting a well-rounded education. I don't 100% believe that everybody needs to learn everything.
We're straying into their unschooling approach
right
now.
But they are, because Peter, Asher, and Pearl all have incomes. And so they're learning a lot about entrepreneurship, money, savings, you just naturally, and they're expected to do a lot of things in the real world. And you learn a lot of life skills, but also math and science and, philosophy and all of those things from doing that. And so, but we're just mentioning like their main obsessions, I guess. The things that they are pursuing the most heavily.
Yeah, so for Peter, it's writing and guitar right now. Pearl is really busy or actively engaged in her...
Pearl's always busy.
Making stuff. She likes to make stuff. Jewelry is her biggest thing.
Yeah, I'm wearing some of Pearl's earrings right now,
She
actually.
just did a Valentine's Day sale, actually.
So you should go check out her. She
has an Instagram.
Yeah. I think it's just Pearl Knorpp Jewelry, but she's great at that. She also is getting into crocheting. She's always making stuff. And she's always trying to learn new mediums. And so and the thing is, she can apply herself to anything, embroidery or painting, baking, and she just picks it up, and she's highly creative and, and artistic. She is 17. She's driving. She has her full driver's license. Had her driver's license for over a year now. Helps out a lot. Runs the grocery store for me. Things along those lines.
Takes kids places.
She does some babysitting for people. But she is starting to think about what she wants to do in the coming years. Her siblings are encouraging her to go up to Southern Virginia University, where Andrew will be, and where I can't say anymore. But that's top secret. But she hasn't decided yet what she wants to do. She is thinking of maybe serving as a missionary for our church, but in the service missionary side of it, instead of a proselytizing mission, a service mission. So I don't know.
We'll see.
Yeah. Very active in our church community as well. Both Peter,
all the kids are.
And Asher go every morning to a scripture study group called Seminary. It meets at 6 a.m. And because most of the kids in it...
Every weekday morning.
Yeah, are in public school. So they all go before school and then go to school. And our kids wake up and go with all the public school kids every morning.
And they go on their own, too. We don't have to get them up. They just get up and go Pearl drives.
Yep.
It's awesome.
So it's great.
And then there's...
Drew Boo.
Andrew. So I think everyone knows Andrew's on a mission. The mission Megan just sort of kind of alluded to. He's in South Africa, and he's very busy doing missionary work there. I know that when he first went, we said there might be a newsletter from him.
He's so busy.
It's so busy for him that it's just, I don't think it's going to happen.
We barely get emails from him.
Yeah, and also we don't have the time to take all the information and condense it into a newsletter. So we should just give you an update on Andrew. He's in the Durban mission in South Africa. He was serving for 6 months in Bluff, which is
right on the coast.
Which is on the coast in South Africa, and had a lot of great experiences there. Did have also some scary ones. He was mugged his first weekend. He had
more like carjacked.
Yeah, carjacked. It was through the window of his car. They broke the window. He had a fairly serious car accident that was a miracle that no one was really hurt. But his car was T-boned by another car that was running a red light. But he was okay there. Had a little bit of a neck
He got a concussion.
Pain. Yeah. And but now he's gone out of the city now to what they call a township. Matadani, which is about 4 hours north and inland from
where he was before.
Bluff.
And it's definitely more rural.
Right.
Township. I mean, it's still a big township. There's towns and then townships, and that had to do with apartheid. But it's maybe the roads aren't paved. Mm-hmm. People live more simply there. They definitely have a lot more. What is that called? A blackout with
the rolling blackouts.
Yeah, they have more.
They call them something else though.
When they don't have electricity, he doesn't have air conditioning.
It's really hot right now because it's this time of year, summer.
What is that word? Rustic.
Yeah.
But he's loving it.
Putting it nicely.
Yeah, he's loving it. And so it's like fascinating calls. So he's doing great. Esther has been serving a mission for 17 months in Southern California in the Arcadia mission, which is east of LA in very densely Chinese populated areas.
Yeah.
And
speaking Mandarin.
So she's relearned her Mandarin. We adopted her when she was 9. She lost much of her Mandarin and she has relearned Mandarin. I didn't even know, but these are areas where even the street signs are in Mandarin. And so very, very, she's like, I never see white people in some of the areas she's serving in. She's been serving for 17 months and girls serve for only 18 months. So she comes home in just a little over a month. Yeah. So we are very excited to have her come home. And we're so proud of her for how hard she's worked, how much she's learned, how many people she's served. And she's just sacrificed so much to be there and to serve. Remember, before she went, she got her license from Aveda for hair, and she is planning on doing that again. She's thinking of going up to Virginia, where Andrew is going to be going to school when he gets back, and because there's a lot of younger people there, especially of our faith at Southern Virginia University. And so we'll just see. She's going to come home. We're going to go tour that area. We toured it with Andrew to kind of check it out, but she wasn't here, so we'll go tour and see how she feels. But I bet she'll end up over there. But she's going to live here when she gets home, so everyone will get to see her.
Yeah. Okay, and then there's Daniel. Daniel is in Utah, living in the Provo area of Utah, which is south of Salt Lake City. He is going to school. Well, he's kind of part-time school. His ultimate goal is to be a chef. He's doing the culinary arts program at university, or I should say UVU, which is Utah Valley University. And so he's loving that.
He is very self-sufficient.
Yeah.
He does summer, but that's why you don't see him as often, because he does summer sales. So he doesn't come home when there's no school.
He has short stints when he comes home.
So he does summer sales, which he has a love-hate relationship with. I just have a hate relationship.
Well, summer sales, if you don't know it, that's when they go door to door, either selling pest control or alarm systems, that sort of thing.
And he does pest control.
Nobody likes to see those guys come into their neighborhood, but Daniel somehow perseveres. This will be his third summer doing it. He does pest control. Did you already say that? Yeah.
So he doesn't come home during the summer, and then he's got school there. He's working as a waiter and also doing a million things all the time. He's in a bunch of intramural sports. He's hanging out with all these friends, and so
Daniel's very social.
Yes, so. And so I have to every once in a while are you still alive? Every few weeks. He definitely is very self-sufficient.
Yeah.
But
so he's doing well there.
He's super happy. He's got really long hair, as you guys may have seen, that he gets permed. It looks great. But he said he was going to let his hair grow out till Esther got home. And so when he's going to come home to see her when she gets home, and we'll see if he's actually willing to part with his locks, because I think they look pretty good on him.
Yeah, I think the idea was that she would cut it for him, right?
Yeah, we'll see. So we'll see if he can really do it, because he's like, actually, I kind of like this.
So lastly is Elijah. And we kind of Elijah's been here. He has a new development in his life, though, but we can't say what it is here because he's going to post about it on his channel. So we'll direct you over to Elijah Knorpp's YouTube channel, so you can see that when he posts his video
it's been in the works really since before he came home from Japan. This has played a huge role in why he came back from Japan.
Right.
And we're very excited about him. But Elijah is a filmmaker and has a YouTube channel, and so his announcement videos are very involved, and they're very well done. I think the one he's going to post on what he's doing is going to be his best yet. He's learned so many new techniques and to tell this story. I'm very excited. I've been seeing clips because he'll ask me, what should I do that makes it better? I'm like, I think that looks really good. I don't know.
Elijah's way more technically into us than we are as far as making videos.
He's very talented.
He has all this equipment.
So I guess I think it's next week he said he plans on posting that. So we can't say any more except that he's doing really well. And
we're really excited for him. So that'll be good. Okay, well, Megan, maybe we should say what we're up to as well. Even though we make videos, you've been more involved in stuff off camera than I have been. So what's been your latest obsession?
Oh, well, I definitely, Mike's worried about me. I need to go to outpatient or something.
Not out, you need, what is that called? Intervention or something like that.
Okay, so you guys remember, I know you remember because you guys mentioned it in the questions, if I'm going to do a pie month again. I will do a pie month again. But because pie month literally changed my life. I learned that because I thought it was going to be crazy. I would have days where I was in the kitchen for 8 hours. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I've been in the kitchen for 8 hours. And then I'd be like, but I've loved it. So I didn't realize I like to be creative. I like to make things, how perfectly all of my desires for creation would come together into food. And you would think that's kind of late to the game to realize that since I've been a mom. But I had never mastered food making. I'm not saying I mastered it, but
oh, you have.
I never tried to make it like an art. But once I did, what I found was it was an amazingly magical process for me to make food. And then I got to like, my love language was like, my bucket was always full, because if you make really delicious, beautiful food, when people are eating it, they're like, you are amazing. And I'm like, thank you.
Especially if Andrew is one of those people.
Yeah, that's true. He would use his words to tell me what an amazing mom I was and what a great homemaker I was. But it was just like electrifying for me. And so I've continued, and also just learning that month that like you could start something that you were not very proficient at. And that was pie making for me. Made like 1 pie, 2 pies a year. And by the end of that month, I was so comfortable making pie. I know that doesn't matter in a way, but it taught me that you can learn new things and become very comfortable in that. And so I continued in the kitchen, learning new skills and new techniques. And currently I am learning sourdough. I have been putting that off because I think as many of you, so intimidated by the sourdough because you have to feed the starter. And I was like, I think I'm ready. I think I'm ready. And it's been less than a week.
Yeah.
And
that was a long week. You like disappeared into sourdough for that week. It's kind of crazy.
I made 5 loaves of sourdough.
Which is no small thing, by the way.
Sourdough biscuits. I've made bagels 2 times over. I feel like I made one more thing with the sourdough. I can't remember what it was.
You made me like a little, like almost like a pancake.
Oh, I
type
made like a little fried bread out of the.
That was pretty little though.
Yeah, it was. But I have
just the whole process of creating sourdough is very involved. So you've just been like in that kitchen, just doing it.
It was, and like Mike will tell you, I was like a total mess for the first 2 days.
This week.
I know. And I was a total mess for the first 2 days. I was so stressed, so stressed. Now that did end up being hormonal. It did end up being hormonal because as soon as that changed, I was not as stressed. But also I have been like, if I'm not in the kitchen, I'm watching sourdough videos. Yeah. I'm reading sourdough posts and blogs. And I have just consumed so much sourdough information this week.
But you haven't consumed much sourdough itself.
No, I don't. I stay away from flour products. But you guys
loves
have.
To make them.
I know.
Yeah. And it's been really good.
Yes, I'm loving the bagels. I feel like I have unlocked like a mystery of the universe or something. The mysteries of the universe by making bagels.
Yeah.
Because I never considered that one could make a bagel. That just seemed like some magical thing created somewhere else. I don't know why. But I made some bagels and they're so good.
Yeah, they're really good bagels.
So
I
made more bagels.
We're not really bagel eaters when it comes down to it, but these are amazing.
And I took them to my parents today. They love bagels and they were like, oh. So that was really fun. But I will recommend, if you're going to get into sourdough, there's like no way around it. There's a learning curve where you're going to feel stressed anytime you learn a new skill. But I think nobody that I've looked at teaches it better than Farmhouse on Boone. Now,
so that's a YouTube channel,
yes,
Farmhouse on
and
Boone.
I mean her channel's, she's incredible. I did not watch it for a long time. It was like always there, and I was avoiding it because I knew she was like amazing, everything I wanted to be, kind of thing, you know. But I've finally given in, and I'm watching her and Lisa, and she's amazing, and she deserves all the love. But I think a lot of times bakers are men. And they do their sourdough very scientifically and precisely, which is cool. And it's probably helpful to understand some of that, but it's also so stressful because you're like, okay, hydration level, okay. And you're doing all of this stuff. Lisa is just like, yeah, it kind of works. You know, you just do these things and it works. And so watching her do it, I'm like, okay.
Well, she does it more the way that you like to do things.
As a mom.
Kind of by your gut sort of thing, right?
And yes. And I would say that is kind of a typical masculine, feminine thing, maybe.
Sure, yeah.
Like, you know, Jordan Peterson says men are order and women are chaos. This is chaos sourdough. And it's like, really I get it. It's like an art. Like, I get it. And it's been really fun. And it's not as hard to keep a starter alive. She makes it so simple. And so I'm in. I will keep this starter for as long as I can.
It's really good.
Yeah,
really
definitely. But I'm also been, like this Christmas of 2022, so just over a year ago, I got gouache paint sets and brushes, like a higher quality, because I was like, I want to learn painting. I've been saying it forever.
Yep.
I would like to learn painting, or how to paint and maybe illustrate with painting. I'm so knowledgeable that it's like awkward to even say it. I don't think that's where you would say it. But anyways,
What, the
I don't
gouache?
know. Yeah. No, that's how you say gouache, but
Oh.
I'm like, you illustrate by painting. But I didn't do anything with it. I painted a few things and I was terrible. But once again, Pie Month taught me some things. And then just like getting older, you're like, listen, just start painting. And so I made a goal that I would paint something every day this year. Something small. Some of them are so cringy bad. Like where I have literally, there's a couple pages in my notebook, my little, what are those called, sketchbook or painting, whatever, that I have like paper clipped together so I can't see those pages because I don't want to tear it out. And I know someday I'll look back at it. But right now they're so cringy that like they make me feel bad because they're so bad. And so I don't even want to see them. So I'm just not worrying so much like, am I an amazing artist? It's like, just paint every day and you will learn. And you don't even have to be like, what am I going to learn today? Because that can be stressful too. I'm just painting every day and I'm realizing that I'm getting better. I'm understanding just the paint texture better. I'm understanding how to mix colors better and all sorts of things. And so I will trust that if I keep painting every day, that eventually I won't be so bad at it. And then we'll see. We'll see what happens after that. I mean, I'll probably become a really famous, highly paid artist. So
That's what I'm banking on.
So, and it doesn't take long. Like, bread's rising, I go sit down at the table and I paint a little. And then I go stir dinner and I go and sit down and I paint a little. I think that's another thing that you learn. I've really enjoyed my 40s. I think you really enjoyed your 40s.
We're veering into topics that no one asked about, but
Well,
that's okay.
But we are, because it's going to answer the question, how do you do it all?
Okay.
I think that
Oh, how you have the energy and all
Yes.
that kind of stuff. Yeah, people did wonder that.
we're both in our mid-40s. I think we have learned our rhythm.
A little bit, yeah.
And learned how to not stress about things as much.
Yeah,
Or-
stress less.
Or
There's
to
always
just
stress.
live with the stress,
Yeah.
right? To roll with the stress. And to not freak out as much, you know, because in the past, so much of your stress comes from your fear about the unknown. And now you're like, I don't know, we'll probably figure it out. Or like you have some looming thing, you're like, we'll figure it out when we get there.
Mm-hmm.
But we're not always perfect at it. Absolutely. We still get
I'm
really
perfect
stressed
at it.
about it. I think we've learned how to like go like this with our time,
A little bit.
you know?
Well, yeah, you fit in you're always fitting things in. I guess like there's not a lot of downtime.
Well, we've realized that we don't need the downtime we thought we needed for like relaxation. Like some things that relax you can be also effective.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you're often like reading.
Mm-hmm.
I might be painting or cooking. And those are also helping in other ways.
Right, yeah.
So I think I used to, and I think absolutely 100% the age of your children matters. Because when your youngest is 11 and your kids are all very self-sufficient and you have drivers, right, that can help you out, that is a totally different ball game
Yeah, it takes less of your energy.
than when you have toddlers.
Right.
I remember just when you have a toddler, like just laying on the couch, just like laying there.
Yeah.
And I'm saying like, get up, Mom, get up. They'd always hate it when I laid. I'm like, just let me lay here for a minute.
Yeah, you just wasted a little
So
time.
totally different ballgame. And I think if you're in that phase, you may not realize that it is going to end and then it's going to be so much easier. And also we don't do stuff that a lot of people do. We don't do organized sports.
That's true.
That's major. And not having the public school schedule in your life is major because I know how much time it eats up to do drop off and pick up.
Yep.
And then events at the school. And like if you don't do organized sports, we do have lessons, but the kids either can walk to their lesson or drive to their lesson or they do them online.
Yeah, that's true.
And so we don't drive to work.
Yeah.
And we don't drive anybody anywhere a lot of the times because the hi
Sorry,
baby.
the kitty just walked by.
Hi, he does not like to be held.
He just came inside.
Love to be pet. Are you a good boy? Mm-hmm.
He's like, you smell funny.
The boys worked at the ice cream shop. They can walk there. So Asher rode his bike to violin lessons. So I do think that you should cut yourself some slack, because if you are doing those things in your life, they require a lot of you, and we're not doing those. And when we first decided not to do things like that, it was really scary because it felt like we were the only ones. And like, are we bad, for not doing those things? But
some people would say we are, probably.
Yeah.
But we don't think we are.
No, it's worked out. Your kids can still do music and be active, physically fit people, and learn skills outside of those systems. And I'm just saying, if you are happy in those systems, I'm happy for you. And if you don't, but cut yourself some slack, because they require a lot of your time. And then if you're thinking of maybe not doing it, there are some of us out here who are not doing it. It feels like everybody's doing it.
Yeah.
Everybody's doing it, but not everybody's doing it. Some of us aren't, and our kids are still well adjusted and happy and healthy. So, okay, we just realized we are pretty far in, so we can just answer one more question.
This has taken a long time.
Okay.
Just to go over the kids.
Yeah.
What should
everybody
we
asked
talk
a
about?
lot about that,
Okay.
right?
Yeah, so, and that kind of plays into what you were saying. So we had one of our first questions, I think the first question, which kind of got some spice from some of you guys watching, which I appreciate your wanting to.
I told Mike that I should have you ladies come over, and like if neighbors walk by or anything and they judge, you can tell them to just take a hike.
Hey.
That the Knorps work hard.
Yeah.
They're gonna get to painting the outside of their house. You can just keep on walking.
So there was a question about
you totally had our back.
Yeah, we appreciate that. And I'm not sure if the question was meant to be in any sort of mean spirit or not, because it's, just like texting, it's hard to know what people mean and just when you're reading it. But they asked about how we make our money, because it doesn't appear that we work or that we have jobs. And
we have a money tree. So
that would be nice.
There's a few of them out there. I can't tell you where it's planted or anything.
Now, that would be nice, or a goose.
A golden goose. That's one of our animals.
Right. Now, those are expensive. So we have 2 or 3 businesses that are not kind of your standard business. So obviously YouTube, like a couple people alluded to when they responded to that question, YouTube does provide some monetary income.
It's some income
to us. We don't have a huge channel, so that amount of money is not huge, but it's a little bit.
It's not nothing. Yeah.
It's not nothing, but it is helpful. The main source of income we have is our business with doTERRA, which is the essential oil company, where we teach about essential oils and about wellness and that sort of thing, and people buy essential oils through us from doTERRA.
Yeah, so, and we've been doing that since 2011.
Right.
And the brilliant thing is, doTERRA's oils are amazing, and so people that we taught about oils in 2011 are still buying oils from us 13 years later.
Right.
And anybody along the way that we've introduced to and shared oils with is still, they're like,
a lot of people
once you work oils into your life, so often you keep using them because they're really great.
Right.
And so that has been our primary source of income since 2012.
Right.
And that's something we do anytime we want. It's from home. Right.
So it's from home. We don't have to go in anywhere. We don't show it on here because it's not that interesting as far as a vlog would go. But we do it. We've just started doing workshops again on our channel, which is essential oil focus, which is planted with the Knorps. Mm-hmm. So this is our little plug to go over to that channel and come and be with us on our lives where we talk about wellness and essential oils. We love essential oils, and it's a great business, and it's also a business that people can do from home, like yourself, especially if you're looking for additional streams of income. Mm-hmm. So come over there, and we will be doing some workshops on how the kind of business side of it works, if it's something that you might want to do for yourself. Anyways, so there are those two, and then some people also mentioned Ghosts of Davidson, which is actually Andrew's business that he started. We ran it for him this last fall and a little bit into the winter time, and that was another form of income, because we were able to take home.
With him, yeah.
We essentially he got a percentage of it because it's his business, and we did as well. So there's all that sort of stuff, and then sometimes we do collaborations with companies. Sometimes we have our Amazon link, which is always in the description of our video. We get a little bit of money from that, but mostly it's YouTube and doTERRA. But we just don't show us.
We've mentioned it. I mean, we've had a channel now this will be our 8th year. This is 8 years.
With our YouTube channel?
We started 2016. It's 2024. So 8 years. We've mentioned
Oh
it.
yeah, we actually looked at our numbers. We've had over 72 million views total.
Thanks, guys.
That's pretty awesome. And well, that's just funny because that's a lot of views, but spread out over that amount of time, this isn't like huge money. But anyways, it's just fun.
Because of doTERRA, we had been doing doTERRA for that point for 7 years. And that's when we started the channel, but we didn't show it. We showed it every once in a while, but like, I don't know, you're working. You don't like, if you, like, people will say like, you should hug your children more. It's like, I do hug my children, but I'm not like, wait, hold on. Oh, wait.
We try to avoid that sort of thing if we can. We keep those
That's
things
been a huge
separate.
blessing to us. And that's how when we were living in the RV, and then when we went to Europe, somebody like said like that the Mormon church was bankrolling us. I was like, really? Is that a thing?
That would be nice.
Yes,
I wish.
yeah, I should contact them because they aren't, and maybe they're doing that. No, they're not, and they don't do that. But
so that's where our money.
But
comes
it was
from.
always from that, and we did it while we were on the road. And some of you purchased oils from us during that time when we were traveling, and since then, so that's what we do. But for the rest of you, I guess you should purchase some oils so that that's what we do.
Yeah, come on, get involved.
So that's what we do.
And I think we will be mentioning it more. We've done sponsorships, and we thought, why shouldn't our own business be a sponsor of a video? So we will mention that we're doing those workshops, and we are looking to build another part of our business there. So I mean, again, if it's something that if you're looking for another stream of income, you should come over to the Planet with the Knorps, and you can see if it's something that might work for you as far as earning some income yourself.
But maybe we'll just end with people that led people into asking how we can afford this house. So when we bought this house, it was like we couldn't even fathom living in it because it was so small and completely not updated.
Right.
And so we went, if you're here for it, we went through lots of different iterations of what we were going to do. Every few months we'd be like, should we just sell the thing? Like, because we couldn't ever tell, and the market was going crazy, so it was worth so much. But another thing that has been on our radar, probably our whole marriage, almost our whole marriage, is renovating a house. Because my sister has done a lot of that over the years with the houses she lives in and making them beautiful. And we've done a little bit. Mm-hmm. And so we had talked to, when we were going to build with a builder, like, oh, could we do some of it? And they're like, yeah, no, maybe. They really don't want you to do that. But what we were going to do to the house was so extensive that we were just going to have to get out of the way. And then we just kind of got to the point where it was like so many hoops to jump through. Is that how you say it?
Yeah, that's right.
That it was like, you know what? We lived in this because we lived in it for 9 months when it was like not very big. It was still 1,300 square feet.
Not that it's very big now.
With 9 of us. And it was like, you know what? If we can do that, and we were a lot happier than we thought. We thought it would be more like camping out temporarily in there, but we were actually pretty cozy. Like, why don't we just do a few things and we'll do it all ourselves, which we've always wanted to do. We can share it on our YouTube channel, and we can just make this house a sweet little cottage. And so that saved us a ton of money. But also, I think the main motivation, I mean, it's always nice to save a ton of money, but we always wanted to do it and to learn those skills. And what's so brilliant about it is that, like, once you have them, you have them.
Right, yeah, when you learn that stuff.
So, like, I'm learning how to, like, make bread, and Mike's learning how to, like, build a house, or whatever, like a million things over, as you guys know. It's been really impressive to watch. But, and now we have it forever. So it's never been the plan that this will be our forever house because come on, we're the Knorps. It's like so unlikely. We have lived in like 18 different places in 24 years, almost 24 years. So
hang on.
You want to show the kitty?
I have to show this really quick, off camera. The kitty.
Hi. You're such a good boy. Yeah. You want me to pet you?
He loves to roll around. He's always trying to, like, entice you over to
rub his belly.
Give him pets. Are you going to do it now?
I'll rub his belly, because not many cats like their bellies rubbed, huh? Yes, you do. You do. Yes. So, it has been it's so enjoyable. It's not cheap to do it on your own. It is ridiculously cheaper.
Yeah.
But it's not.
It costs a lot more than we thought it would.
Always.
Still.
Always.
More than twice as much as what we had budgeted.
And so I know some of you are like, why don't you do this or that? There's a million great ideas out there, just not $1 million to do it with.
Yeah, you kind of have to spread it out, and there's also time to consider. Well, now, that is one benefit working from home and having a business like we do. I can put a lot more time into it than someone with a typical job would. I can't imagine trying to do this with just doing it in the evenings only.
Or on the weekends.
It would take a lot longer, but it would just...
But you're exhausted. You've already had a job,
the energy, I can't imagine that. So my hat's off to anyone who's been able to do it and also maintain a full-time job, essentially, because I don't have a full-time job.
Yeah.
doTERRA isn't that. So anyways.
Sometimes I'll joke about how I'm like a renovation widow or something, because when Mike has to do a big project, he just has to do it. And so he's just all day for days on end doing that project. And
it's usually these tiling jobs. And
yeah.
that actually, we can answer that question real quick. People ask the renovation, what has been the hardest thing to do? And I think physically the most difficult is definitely the tiling.
Emotionally too.
Yeah. Tiling, even if the floor is hard, because we've done these big tiles. So tiling is my least
well, and then
favorite
you don't
thing.
like that there's a clock.
The thin set is constantly it's setting up, like it's if you don't do it within the time frame, you could add some water, but either way, it's just stressful. So tiling is my least favorite thing to do. Anything with wood, I enjoy. Like the wood floors, even though it took a while, were actually pretty enjoyable to do, because wood is so much easier to work with too. It's more forgiving. I don't know. Anyway, so that was the hardest thing, but also I'm grateful I learned it, and it's another one of those situations where once you do it and you can look at it, every time I take a shower, it's kind of fun these days. Well, I did both showers,
but at least a couple times in the last few weeks.
It's true. You can look around and you can say, oh, I did that. So that's nice. And maybe really quick, we can just say what the timeline is for some of the next projects. Everyone's asking about the kitchen. The kitchen is still a little ways out. Mostly,
he is going to be.
That'll take a long time.
I feel like
I will disappear into that because it's making the cabinets and also doing the countertops. But making the cabinets is what's going to take a long time. But there's also the budget to consider because the countertops themselves are pretty expensive.
We thought about just going and getting like kit cabinets, but every time we do, because we're like, you know what? Your time is worth more than this. Then we go look at the cost and we're like, you are going to be building these cabinets. Well, because you get a lower quality.
Yeah, you get less
for
quality.
Like 4 times, 5 times the price.
Yeah.
And so like, oh man, because Mike can build these and.
Well, and it could be a good video. So the kitchen is still a ways down the road. I think the next things that we'll work on is our room as far as finishing the floors and then all the trim. And
we got to get the girls' room ready. So we haven't done the mural yet.
Yes,
we need to get the girls' room ready because Esther's coming home, so
right.
She needs to live here.
Well, and the girls have been living in there with it, but
we need to fit her in.
Yeah.
So we've been putting that off, the mural until, because we're going to have to just pull everything out of there to do it, I think, and then.
And then we'll do people asked about the little deck thing on the side where I did the siding. We haven't done that yet. It's still just the old stairs. That's on the back burner. That will happen sometime soon. We have not painted the side yet either, so I think people think they might have missed that. We just haven't done it yet.
I missed it too.
It's still sitting there.
People thought they missed it? That's funny.
It's still sitting there.
I'm sure you finished that by now.
It's unpainted. But this is how we
have to jump around. Oh my gosh. Do you guys remember we thought we could do this in like 3 months?
It's crazy.
No, we didn't think we'd have everything finished. We thought we'd just have enough to move in. That's true.
But we didn't even have that. So it's kind of a long list, but those are probably the next few things that are going to happen.
It's going to be such a dream to have that kitchen finished. Like such a pleasure. It's already like we've gotten used to this. What's great about that is when you get used to not having something and then it becomes normal and then you get it, it feels glorious.
Yeah, it feels really good.
So like having our own bathroom and like Mike said, like showering in there, you're just like, this is amazing.
It's my bathroom.
Yes, who knew? Like you should tell people how great it is. I have my own bathroom.
We should mention the window in the bathroom that you put the little sticky thing on.
Everybody asked about that. Okay, so what happened was...
We're getting to the big question at the end here.
I know, we finished the bathroom, filmed the video, and it's just like it was so many things, so overwhelming. And actually that was during the few days ago when I was like super overwhelmed by the...
Oh, the sourdough.
The sourdough. So I was just like, I'll do it another time. But then my period came, my stress level came down, and I was telling my sister about the bathroom, and she was like, have you put up the window film yet? And I'm like, oh, no, I haven't. So I hurried and put it up, and then it looked so good.
It's pretty easy.
That I made my film our like final like photos again,
Yep.
you know, whatever the pan of the bathroom, the afters, because it looks so good. So it was super simple. It's from Amazon. I can put a link. It's like you cut it to size and you spray the window with water and you put it on. And it looks so good and tested.
It does work.
For some reason, that amount of blurriness was
Added
enough.
to the blurriness that was already there.
But I was hopeful that it wouldn't look fake. And it really looks very good.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
I think it's very, very cute. And
We'll
it
see how
does
it
give
ages.
cottage
I don't
vibes.
know.
And it does work with the black in the bathroom. So.
But it's super easy to remove if it.
Yeah.
It's because it's not glued. It's essentially just like.
No, it's a cling. It's a window cling.
Yeah, so.
And so they had a ton of designs, and it's really hard on Amazon these days because there's like a million companies that are like using the photos from a higher quality company's product, and then they're like faking it. And so you get it and you're like, that doesn't look as good. So I was really nervous about ordering it, if it was going to be good quality, especially with some of the more ornate ones. And I also just was like, as soon as I get that window cling, that defines the style of the bathroom. And I got the rug, and then I'm like, okay, I need something simpler. So I got that, and I love it. I love it. I think it gives me all the feels every time I look at it, like I'm in a little cottage in England. So.
And it works. Megan went out. I was actually taking a shower. Megan's like, I'm going outside to check.
I went out in the
She
rain.
went out there. Yeah,
at night.
She braved the rain, and it was very obscured.
I couldn't really even see pink. It was like you could kind of tell someone was moving behind that window, but nothing. Because before, it was very.
It was a little more clear than we had thought.
There was shapes.
So that's always a good idea.
color.
It's always a good idea to test those sorts of things. Because from the inside, you can't see anything out. So you think, oh, so they can't see in. But
No, they
not the
could.
case, yeah.
They could.
let me see if there's anything else.
Okay,
Why don't
we
you
will
give-
do a question and answer on the house, and we are going to do a question and answer on unschooling. And that will
Yeah.
help us because we've been trying to make 2 videos a week, which is hard to do when you're renovating and baking like 85 million loaves of sourdough bread. I'm not going to give up making the bagels though.
Yeah.
So we will, and Mike's making a new intro.
Oh, I'm working on a
But
new intro.
we'll do another question and answer maybe next week because that really helps us out. We can sit down and do this anytime.
And we will start doing our podcast again, by the way. Someone asked that. I keep on answering questions. But we are planning
Stop
on...
answering questions.
We plan on doing the podcast again. We're actually going to be posting the podcast videos to this channel, though, instead of the
We've been
No
posting
Place
to
Like
this
Home.
channel for the whole
Yeah.
time.
So, anyways, that is coming up. So keep your eyes open for that. That's it.
That was my sign for keeping
Oh.
your eyes open.
Keep your eyes peeled.
Yep.
All right. Well, then we'll see you on the next video. Yeah. Have a great day or
Have
whatever.
a blessed day.
Yeah.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.